Why the M134 minigun is so feared by the enemy soldiers. The M134 GAU-17 Vulcan cannon is a 6-barreled medium machine gun used primarily as a fire suppression weapon in aircraft for the U.S. military. The so-called Gatling design relies on electric motors to power the barrels, resulting in a firing rate of as much as 6,000 rounds per minute. It is used in a variety of rotor wing aircraft in the door gunner position, and is used by the U.S. Navy for its riverine craft and special operations watercraft. The basic minigun is a 6-barrel, air-cooled, and electrically driven rotary machine gun. The electric drive rotates the weapon within its housing, with a rotating firing pin assembly and rotary chamber. The minigun's multi-barrel design helps prevent overheating, but also serves other functions. Multiple barrels allow for a greater capacity for a high firing rate, since the serial process of firing, extraction, and loading is taking place in all barrels simultaneously. Thus, as one barrel fires, 2 others are in different stages of shell extraction and another 3 are being loaded. The M134 can either be mounted to a hardpoint on a vehicle for remote firing, or can be put on a pedestal that allows a human to directly aim and fire the machine gun at will. The versatility of this weapon also found its way to being mounted on tanks and ships as a force multiplier. After the end of the Second World War, the newly formed United States Air Force identified a need for an improved gun system for its aircraft. Realizing that single-barreled automatic weapons had essentially reached their design limits, the U.S. Army Ordnance Research and Development Service hit on the idea of reintroducing the multi-barreled rotary weapon invented by Richard J. Gatling in 1880. Initial tests proved promising, as a vintage Gatling gun, now powered by an electric motor in place of the usual hand crank, was able to achieve rates of fire in excess of 4,000 rounds per minute. With the introduction of helicopters to the modern battlefield, the M61 system was redesigned and scaled down for use as a helicopter weapon system. Designated the M134, this new weapon was similar to the M61, but it fired the much smaller 7.62mm percussion primed rifle cartridge. Capable of firing 6,000 rounds per minute, the M134 was used on a number of helicopters, such as the UH-1 Iroquois, OH-6 Cayuse, and AH-1 Cobra, as well as the AC-47 gunship. The crew-served version of the M134 is the GAU-17. Fired from a pintle mount on the helicopter fuselage, the GAU-17 is very similar to the M134, except that it is equipped with a high, 4,000 rounds per minute, and low, 2,000 rounds per minute, selector switch. The GAU-17 is currently in service on the UH-1N, H-3, and H-60 helicopters, as well as a number of American Special Operations aircraft, helicopters, and boats. Militaries have used it in almost all nations. This is a product that General Electric designed well. Garwood Industries armed a lot of wars by manufacturing the minigun. Some of the most known wars in which miniguns have been used include the Gulf War, U.S. invasion of Panama, Afghanistan War, U.S. invasion of Grenada, Vietnam War, and the Falkland Wars. By 2002, all the components of the minigun had been well upgraded. Dillon Aero started to produce weapons with completely improved parts. Major buyers quickly purchased the gun. In 2003, the gun was approved for military use in the U.S. Army. Improvements were made, such as using titanium instead of steel in the core. This reduced the minigun's weight from 28 kilograms to 19 kilograms. At this point, many aspects of the minigun made it better than the machine gun. For example, the gun housing lifespan. That of a machine gun was 40,000 rounds, while a minigun's was 500,000 rounds. The minigun has continued to get upgraded, and its capabilities keep on increasing. The danger posed by this weapon is known all over. It is known that hostiles intentionally avoid military vehicles with miniguns. This has helped keep a lot of American forces safe by reducing the number of ambushes.